Now, with regard to the proposition that was put by Mr. Mgomezulu on some of the weakness here, it is indeed so, my lords, that upon being approached by the state, we recorded our vehement objection to the procedure that the state wanted to adopt or to employ. And basically, the state, my lord, does not give the court the background of what is happening here. Remember, Mr. Mgomezulu said, as per the quotation that has been read on record today, Longo was one of the people who apparently got injured in the house. Now the state wants to refute that allegation. Now the state says, we want to refute that allegation by showing a video that shows Longwe that the following day, that's the information that we got from the state, that the following day, Longwe was seen walking very straight, he was not limping, and which is an indication that he could not have been injured on the 26th, because on the 27th, he was seen, he's been seen on the video, he's walking very straight, he's not limping. But that on its own has got its own challenges, my lord. And the state says, no, we got a clip of a video from ANC, ENCA, yes, I'm sorry, from ENCA. We got a clip of a video that will demonstrate that Longwe immediately on the 27th he was seen walking. But that has got various challenges, my lord.
So that was the footage, that Advocate Baloyi was intending to introduce at the court. And the purpose of that footage that was recorded by ENCA, it was to show that Longotwala was actually walking properly and in that he had not sustained any alleged injury. So the defense, they launched, an objection to the introduction of that ENCA footage, and specifically, they were saying that the state themselves, they were trying to frame the video in itself as a calculated move to discredit an alternative version of events without relying on direct testimony. So the credibility of that video, it comes under fire, through the affidavit that was submitted by Mr. Bailey. So there is an ENCA representative called Mr. Bailey, and if you look, Mr. Bailey in his affidavit, he explicitly admitted that he has no knowledge of the individual's locations or even the time frame of the footage in question. And more damaging, is the revelation that he was not even in South Africa at the time that the footage was captured. So this seriously weakens the video's admissibility under Section 3 of the Law of Evidence Amendment Act, which allows, hearsay evidence only if it derives its probative value from a credible source that is expected to testify. So now Bailey cannot serve that role, and the state's foundation, it crumbles basically. So one thing, is that the authentication of this video now is coming under question, specifically with questions like when exactly was it filmed, who filmed it, the conditions under which it was captured, and whether it was edited or selectively compiled. Without this chain of custody or proper verification, the footage lacks legal credibility and opens the door of reasonable doubt, because in court every piece of visual evidence must be traced, verifiable, otherwise its integrity cannot be guaranteed. The importance as to knowing how the video was edited is that it could have been edited in a way such that it shows only the parts when Longwe was walking properly and removes the parts when he was sort of limping. So that's the reason why the defense wants, Mr. Bailey to be here to testify, that they recorded this footage, how they edited it. And that part is very, very important, and it even reminds me of this video footage of Fikile Mbalula where he was saying Senzo Mkhunu is not guilty. And what then happened with people on social media is that they removed the part where Fikile Mbalula said not, and the video started to say Senzo Mkhunu is guilty. So just by removing that word not, it changed the tone completely, and that video went really viral, But people didn't know, that the video in itself was actually edited. So that is one of the reasons why courts want to know who edited the video. Because it can happen, that a video can be edited so that it suits a certain narrative. Because these things happen. So that's why the defense is calling for the affidavit of Mr. Bailey, but that affidavit is not there now. That's the challenge that is there. So another important aspect in all of this with regards to the rejection of this video from ENCA, it's relying on an opinion from Brigadier Gininda rather than calling the man featured in the footage Longotwala himself, because Longotwala is the one who can give this testimony. Instead, they're showing us this video footage and giving us an opinion from Gininda himself. So if you look at this strategy, the strategy of casting doubt on the origin of the video in itself, whilst also simultaneously highlighting the absence of a more credible witness like Longotwala. This is like a classic legal chess maneuver, this is very, very classic. Because the strategy that is there here is that the defense is not only objecting to the evidence itself, but also attempting to shift the burden back onto the prosecution. Because check, why resort to hearsay when you have the person in question available to testify? So this forces the judge and the public to reconsider whether the state is genuinely seeking justice or simply shaping a more convenient narrative. So overall, the issue reflects, a broader concerns about fairness and due process, because if Judge Rata accepts this unverified footage, without knowing how it was edited, etc., and the sidelining of these direct witnesses in the video who are even out there, still in South Africa and alive, it risks probably the undermining the principles of justice, because it's setting a dangerous precedence where hearsay and opinion are allowed to outweigh first-hand testimony, because you do have the witnesses that can give you first-hand testimonies, but they are not there. But instead, we are relying on Gininda as if these guys, like Bailey and Longotwala, are not even there. So this is my review for this footage of the ENCA. I'll catch you guys on the next one.